Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
Sports Ultras. Sports Ultras. This is Blue Sports. Sports Ultras. Sports Ultras. Sports Ultras. Sports Ultras. This is 3 Sports.
Hello. Good evening. It's time to do Sports Ultras right here on 3FM 92.7. Every Sunday at 6 p.m. we're on your radio. Or before we get into the conversation this evening here on the Sports Ultras, just pick up your phones and just head to @3SportsGH on Twitter and then follow all the updates from there, as well as you're listening to us right here on your radio on 3FM 92.7. Also, there's really a lot to digest this evening here on the show. Medeama SC and Dreams FC have both qualified to the group stage of the Pan-African club competitions, which is huge. That's the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup. Well, if you've been listening to us religiously, you know that Ori Kwampofo has been very, very critical about Medeama SC. Today, he's going to answer a few questions about his fears and the earlier assertions he made about Medeama SC. Now they've made it into the group stage. Yesterday, there were so many videos on the internet, and you could see Mospaka, the owner of the club, and many other club officials actually really, really enjoying themselves in Conakry. And later tomorrow, so you're hearing that at 10 a.m., Medeama SC will have a press conference at the Movenpick Hotel. And it's just a lot of buzz around the club at the moment. So we'll talk Medeama, we'll talk Dreams, we'll talk the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup, and then we'll head into the Ghana Premier League. What a goal that we saw today! Olympics beating the team they played against in the Ghana Premier League. They played the Gold Stars, exactly. Bibiani Gold Stars. They beat them by 1-0. Michael Osei with that goal there, an incredible goal that was scored at the Accra Sports Stadium. So Coach Anna Walker is back into the Olympics fold and is giving them just what they need. We'll head into the Premier League as well. And the Premier League would bring us a lot of conversation because this week has been a week that has been riddled with controversies on the refereeing front. Ori Kwampofo will bring us a monologue on that, and so many instances where referees are faulted, and I've just come out to say that they are sorry. That sorry really, really cut it for you. I'm sure Liverpool fans are still livid after their goal was cancelled in there. I mean, the crazy thing about that Liverpool goal was that the lines were not even drawn. There were no lines. I mean, the referee says it's off, it's off. We'll go into the La Liga as well, and then we'll take your predictions as well. Predictor, and then the Charlotte would also be done. But today, we are giving you the luxury to join us on the show. The phone lines will be open just when we are discussing the Medeama and Dreams FC qualification to the group stage. Tell us what you think and where this will take Ghana football in the interim. It's a really good time for Ghanaian clubs in there, and hopefully Medeama SC and Dreams FC do so well that they are forever remembered in the annals of football history in this country. So time to introduce my panelists in the studio. And Kelvin Oswansa is here, Aniela Alote is here, and Ore Kwampofo is here. So don't start. Don't start.
Alright, Jackson, I'm Kai Alote. Like, relax.
Low penalty.
Hey, at least he score him. You, Mudrik, he score yet.
We'll find a penalty for
Anyway,
him.
guys, you're welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Right.
Yeah.
And just before we begin, though, Kelvin, you're going to take us through some statistics. Statistics of the last time any Ghanaian team made it into the group stage of a Pan-African club competition. What is really going to happen in that one? Just give me the statistics of that. And I mean, the last time any team made it into the group stage of the Confederations Cup or the CAF Champions League. Let me give you the floor.
Well, thank you so much. I think we'll just take a quick look in the last, let's say, 11 years, how Ghanaian clubs have been faring when it comes to Africa club competition. Let's start from 2010, where Asante Kotoko and Ashanti Gold had to represent Ghana. Kotoko winning the league, and then Ash Gold representing Ghana. There was no FA Cup, so it was like two clubs representing. Ash Gold went into the CAF Confederations Cup then, but they couldn't progress, same as Kotoko, to the group stage. In 2011, let's not forget that Ghana won the league in 2010, so they represented Ghana. Unfortunately, they were eliminated by WAC in the preliminary stage. In 2012, Brecum Chelsea and Nanya FC represented Ghana in there. And we all know that was the only time that we had a very good representation there. Brecum Chelsea managed to progress into the group stages of the CAF Champions League. So if you are talking about the CAF Champions League, before Medeama achieving this feat, the last time a Ghanaian club did that was in 2012.
11 years ago.
Yes, 11 years ago. With Brecum Chelsea. That was the time Arno Walker was handling Brecum Chelsea. He left Nani FC after defeating Kotoko in the FA Cup to join them. And in 2013, Kotoko and the new Edubiase in there. But unfortunately, the two had to be eliminated from that competition. 2014, Kotoko, once again, that was during the era of Didi Dramani. He managed to get in there with Medeama SC playing the CAF Confederation Cup. And thankfully, Medeama went into a very good group stage the 2014. But unfortunately, they also couldn't progress after that. But 2015, it was Ghana. After Medeama went into the group stages, we restored our 2 slots for both competitions.
Right.
So in 2015, Kotoko and Brecum Chelsea represented Ghana in the CAF Champions League, and then Dwarfs and then Medeama in the CAF Confederations Cup. Unfortunately, all the 4 clubs were eliminated in the preliminary stage, so no Ghanaian team. So back in 2016, we had to revert to that is the 1 club each because our coefficient couldn't supersede the other. So Ash Gold were the only club who played in 2016. That is after they managed to win the league. So they played, but they were also not able to win and then progress into the group stages. In 2017, while Stars currently Legon Cities had won the league in 2016, 2017, they represented Ghana in the CAF Champions League, and Bichim represented Ghana in the CAF Confederation Cup. Both were eliminated in the preliminary round.
That's terrible.
In 2018, Ghana won the league in 2017. 2018, they played the CAF Champions League. They were defeated by Al Ittihad. They dropped to the Confederations Cup, and then they managed to progress over Setif in there, and then they went into the group stages of the CAF Confederation Cup. So in the Champions League, they were eliminated, but in the Confederation Cup, they did. That was the year Asante Kotoko were defeated by Kara Brazzaville. Yes, 4 penalties at the Barbara Sports Stadium. Only one was converted.
It was a day to forget.
Yes. Yakubu, remember, yes, the one who was so much not wanted by the fans was the only player who scored the penalty in there. They changed all the 4 takers of the penalty because if you miss, it means another person had to take it. In 2019, Kotoko once again represented Ghana together with Adriana, but Adriana pulled out because they said they did not have the finances to play. Kotoko managed to get to the group stages of the CAF Confederation Cup. In the Champions League, they were eliminated. So CK Akono dropped to the CAF Confederation Cup, and that was the time that he managed to get into the group stages. But unfortunately, they also couldn't progress. In 2019-2020, Kotoko once again, CAF Champions League, Etoile du Sahel eliminated them. They dropped to the Confederation Cup, where many thought, no, this was a very good team, they could progress. And San Pedro, the newest team in Cote d'Ivoire.
I was there, actually. I was at that game. Another terrible day. It it rained on the
Exactly.
Sunday.
Yes.
The game was moved to the
Yes,
Monday,
so
and yeah.
Kotoko were eliminated there, and Ashanti Gold had already played. RS Bekani had been eliminated also, so fortunately it couldn't happen. In 2020-2021, Kotoko were eliminated by ESCT. Ashanti Gold played Salitas, if you can remember that team.
Yeah.
And they also, for Burkina Faso, they eliminated Ashanti Gold. In 2021-2022, Hartlefolk, remember Samuel Boadu Wak of Morocco. Yes, Aniela, sorry to remind you that, has dropped to the CAF Confederations Cup. And then,
Six.
Yes, exactly.
Samuel
yes,
Boadu.
and they
Samuel
also
Boadu, yeah.
beat
Samuel
them
Boadu,
there.
yeah.
But Bechem pulled out. In 2022-2023, Asante Kotoko once again, and Kadiogo eliminated Kotoko in the CAF Confederations Cup. Hartlefolk were eliminated by Real Bamako of Mali. So, if you look at the Champions League, the last time was far back in 2012, Brecum, Chelsea, and in the CAF Confederation Cup, Asante Kotoko and the Sika Kono in 2019.
That's something.
Yeah, terrible
11
statistics.
11 years. 11 years.
now, yeah.
It's taking us 11 years to get into a group stage. Now, Oreko, I'm coming to you because you have been incredibly critical about Medeama. Medeama have done it. They are in the group stage of the CAF Champions League for the first time in 11 years. What is your take?
Well, congratulations.
He was celebrating that Kotoko has conceded. Doing this. Before you asked him the question, he was celebrating. Let the fans know.
Guess who scored the goal?
Who?
Evans Adomako.
Oh, really?
My goodness.
No wanted man.
Yeah, my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Football.
Let's go. Oreko.
So I think, first of all, congratulations to Medeama. I remember last week saying that away goal that they considered later in the game in Cape Coast will come back here and will bite them. They almost did. Very close. In fact, if they added a few more minutes in that game,
What are you trying
I
to
think they would have considered a third. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's the result. They narrowly qualified. I'm proud of them. They've managed to prove me wrong. Although I think it's been too close. I thought Remo Stars shouldn't have been that close. This game too as well. Probably shouldn't have been that close, considering the fact that you're playing against clubs that haven't even been involved in domestic competitions, and so they had that upper hand. But the good thing is that they are the stage where it matters most, where now they can actually make some money, and I think that's what's most important for me.
Yeah.
The fact that you are going to make actual cash, because in the Ghana Premier League we know they make peanuts, and the CAF Champions League is a tournament where you actually make profits by participating.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they are going to be rubbing shoulders with the big teams.
Yeah.
But then again, it's 16 of the elite teams in Africa, and I'm taking a look at some of the teams that have qualified, and I just can't be optimistic for Medeama. I think they would be okay. It's a first time for them. The journey would end.
see how
a
you
bit
struggle
soon.
to talk?
Because I'm trying to stay positive.
Against.
It's not coming. I don't see how they are going to go past somewhere. That's
But the year without won the CAF Champions League, they were beaten here in Accra.
yeah, but that was Samuel Boadu, great coach.
So what are you
No.
saying about
Ask him.
Medeama?
So what's the basis of your argument?
Yeah, so what are you saying?
Okay,
Uh-huh.
I just think that they don't have enough at home.
Okay.
And I've always said this here for about 3 weeks consecutively that they just don't convince me with the crowd. Barely anyone attends their home matches. Hopefully, now that they've qualified, they're able to attract a crowd, but they don't intimidate opponents. It doesn't even feel like an away game for their opponent. And I think it will matter most here because you would meet real quality now. And it's the tiny margins that will make the difference. So I think that from now till they start the actual tournament, they have to work on creating an environment for their home matches.
Let's talk about the margins before I go to Aniela. That Jonathan Sowa miss.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
Yeah,
I mean, he could have done better, couldn't he?
Yeah, he could have. Imagine, that they ended up conceding a late goal in the end. It would have been very, very difficult for them because now it means that they have to go into probably extra time.
Or let's look at it this way.
Yeah.
Imagine he gets a chance like that in the Mamelodi Sundowns Stadium and he misses. I mean, because it could potentially happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could. And I think for someone as important as him, Jonathan Soa, the experience that he's had, the type of form that he's in, you would expect him to bury that. And as you rightly said, these are chances that he's not going to be getting too many of in the tournament proper. Yeah. And so you would expect him to be putting those at the back of the net. But he can live to smile again and afford to dance because it didn't matter too much. But I think 9 out of 10 times you would expect Jonathan Soa to score that if he gets it again. Yeah. So it's not too much of a worry for Medeama. I'm just much more concerned about how they can create an atmosphere here in Ghana when the tough teams come to visit.
Great. Now, Aniela, you have been very optimistic about Medeama. I mean, you're not like Oreku, but you have been very optimistic.
Generally, very, very. I'm an optimistic person. If you're an Arsenal fan, that's all you have to hold on to. Optimism. But yeah, I would like to start from the point of what Oreku mentioned, the money that's involved, and rightly so. I think that this is a lot more money in the coffers of the club, at least for development for the players, and it's very important.
Development of what?
Yeah, why?
No, I'm asking because we've seen clubs go there and they've not used the money for development. Have we used the World Cup money for development in this country?
Perhaps this domestic club would be different. I want to look at it from that angle. So hopefully it will be better for the players, it will be better for the team as a whole, and then tie into Ghanaian football generally. I think for Medeama, this is a huge feat and something that should be celebrated for them. Riding off of their Premier League victory, even though Oreku is not happy about the 60 points and wanted it to be, 100 or something. But I think that's very important for them. It brings me back to what we were talking about prior to them playing the second leg, the fact that they have done enough, or at least close to enough in the first leg, and that's what played out. That's what saved them ultimately. So even though Horoya tried to save the day, and at least for their home fans, they were playing at home, let everything be well, they couldn't take it into penalties, they couldn't win it ultimately. So I think that is very big for Medeama. Going into the competition, making a qualification for the group stage is huge because, like Kelvin was drawing the comparisons, the last time the club did that domestically, that was in 2012. It's been a very, very long time.
You were still in Christ.
I was writing BEC. I was just writing my BZ there, but yeah, it's very important to see. And like you said, I'm very optimistic about Medeama's chances, and I hope that they are able to go all the way where others have failed to do so.
But I don't understand why nobody's really stating where's the optimism coming from. This is a team that has lost their most experienced player, Viseta Tinga. They've shipped about 8 players to their sister club outside. I don't think they anticipated they would reach this stage. Otherwise, they would have probably dipped a lot more in the market.
And that is where the optimism is coming
from. It's coming
from
no,
where?
Exactly. Because there was no hope. Kelvin, why are you minding him? Tell him to be up. Tell him to keep the same energy when it comes to Chelsea. Tell him to keep the same energy. Chelsea, you go come here and talk, say, the coach this, the coach that.
Let me
already we are seeing signs. Small balancing of the qualifiers for the CAF Champions League and the Premier League. 2 games. They couldn't win. The tournament itself hasn't even started. This is just a tip of the iceberg. Imagine they have to go and play Ahali the next week. Now they'll start resting players in the Premier League. And what would you really gain?
But every time you've won the Premier League as Chelsea, every time you've won the Champions League as Chelsea, you've not done well in the Premier League.
Exactly. Yeah, that's fair. But you see,
your arguments are for flats.
For Medeama, I just think they could have acted better in the market. Maybe they didn't think they would come this far. Because I think a quality and deeper squad is needed, especially when the FA Cup comes around, you're playing the Premier League and you're also playing the Champions League. That's where they may have to prioritize in some way, one way or the other. And if it was personally up to me, I think they should go strong in the CAF Champions League. Of course,
the thing is that they need this money. You understand? So if they, I'm just saying that if they focused on getting this money and now they've gotten it, I'm sure they'll be fine.
It's going to go up from there. You always say it. You face what's in front of you.
They'll be fine in the league.
Oreku wants to forecast 100 years from now. Where would Medeama be?
Look, even the great Medeama side in the Confederations Cup couldn't go past group stages. It is not this Medeama side that would.
We'll see.
So let's
you've eaten your first humble pie.
Yes.
You're not satisfied.
He's not shy. He wants more pie.
We'll buy him another pie. When Fatih comes tomorrow, we'll get him pie.
Kelvin, let's go.
So I think yes. Starting from where Oreku left, you look at this Medeama team. Yes, you may downplay the clout around the players or about the players, but these are very good players that we've seen in the last season. Felix Shea was the best goalkeeper in the Ghana Premier League last season. If you look at Nuruddin, a very good defender, and recently we all saw the Hamidou guy. And if you look at him for a newbie in the Black Stars, playing with the likes of Jordan Ayew and the rest, and the sort of output he gave, I think it was impressive. Yeah. That's a very good player you have in there. If you talk about experience, they have someone like Jean Vital, who couldn't survive at Hasselhoff, but is really doing well for them. He knows the African terrain very well. Joshua Ajeman has played for some Nigerian clubs in Africa, but unfortunately hasn't really survived it. They still have players like Benjamin Bature with his experience in there. Yeah, Bature is back into
Bature has been there for a really long
Nana
time.
Kofi Babel is back into this team. And you look at their defense, there is this young boy, Kofi Asma, that they built from their ranks. The last time I went to Takwa, that was last season, and I spoke to Vincent Achenga. He was like, come on, this guy should be the next biggest thing to happen to us. When I'm not playing and he's around, I feel so confident that we can win our games. And that is the reason why I think this is a very good team. But in all these, they should send a message to our biggest clubs that these are the things we want to see from them. Yeah. If they really want us to take them seriously for the next couple of years, these are the strides they should be achieving. Look at this Dreams FC team. Yeah. How many of you would have predicted that they would have that resilience and confidence to play in Africa? Yeah. Just look at the names. They were just selling players, and you couldn't even pinpoint one name that you can bank your hopes on, that when Dreams FC are struggling, this is the name going to just lift them up. Even the likes of Leonard Owusu, you remember their captain when they came into the Premier League. Yeah. When Dreams were playing, you could just bank your hopes that yes, Leonard has this skill and then he's going to get it. When Fatau Isahaku joined them, you could know that yes, this is Fatau Isahaku, he's going to get them. But ask yourself, John Entry is just I don't know, it's more like a retirement package for him. We saw him at the Accra Sports Stadium. Yes. He's playing nothing.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Sincerely.
That's my boy.
Yes, I know he's your boy. But he's playing nothing. You ask yourself, Sylvester Simba, is he your ideal player that you select to play your team? We also him at the under 23 and also at the under 20. These the Black Stars Galaxies. So I think that yes, the sort of resilience, the sort of confidence that these guys have managed to progress is impressive for Kotoko and Accra Hatofuk. These are lessons, great lessons to them. Many are saying, they had an easy draw. Kotoko played against San Pedro. Yeah. They played against Kadiogo. They struggled against Cara Brazzaville.
San Pedro.
Yes. Has played against
they lost against Barak Young Controllers.
Exactly.
Of Liberia.
These are clubs you wouldn't expect our big clubs to fall to. Yeah. If you look at how Etoile du Sahel have managed to qualify for the group stages, they met the two Algerian champions and they've wiped them off the CAF Champions League. These are the things that you want to see our big clubs achieving. They should stop the fancy around. I made a new football pitch. I made a new training ground. I have the best jersey. I bought my jersey from Ambro. I got my jersey from THB. These are needless. These are useless. They should lift the flag of Ghana higher by doing better in Africa club competitions. In 2004, the maiden edition of the CAF Confederation Cup saw Accra Hatofuk and Kotoko playing in the final. How low we've sunk. Should send a message to them. And I'm proud that Medeama and then Dreams FC are telling the tales of Ghana football better. Hopefully, when they get to the group stages, they will make sure that Oreku gets 2 more humble pies to eat for us by progressing to the next stage.
That would be
Dreams FC, I'm confident.
Why are you confident? Why are you confident about Dreams? Because I don't get it.
There's just something about
it. They still believe. Still believe.
I think the thing about, I think they're a mysterious case, honestly. Like, no one gives them a chance. And the thing about them is that they don't have a lot of history. So if an opponent coming to play against them, you read up on them and you're like, this club just came into existence 6-7 years ago and literally came from nowhere. Even in the leagues, they've not performed too well, but they only got here because of their success in the MTN FA Cup. And so, yeah, a mysterious case. You can't really predict. You don't know what to expect from them. And that has given them some bit of advantage. They also have a coach who is absolutely confident in his abilities. Karim Zito, who, apart from his confidence, he's also very experienced as well. So I think those are two things that are working in their favor. And at the end of the day, they have nothing to really lose.
Yeah, they also have the team manager, Aminu Shadow.
Yeah. Aminu dropped the thread on how he didn't want them to go. Yeah. By the way. Can you imagine? Aminu could have stood on this success. Yeah. Sometimes in life, you just have to go for it. Just do it.
Medeama is going for it, and you are not impressed. So there's still Sports Ultras right here on 3FM 92.7. You're still listening to us. We're discussing Medeama SC and Dreams FC. Let's just open the phone lines for you to join us. 055 9242 717 and 05561 69, I beg your pardon, 10154. Again, 055 69 10154 and then 055 9242 717. Join us. Tell us what you think about Medeama SC and Dreams FC, the qualification into the group stage of the CAF Champions League and then the CAF Confederations Cup. Incredible feats from both sides. Also, already we have a caller on the line at the moment. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Joe, calling from Spintex.
Good evening, Joe, from Spintex. Share your thoughts with us.
Yeah, well, for me, I think that Oreku Ambovo should continue eating his humble pie. Let me say that. Because Medeama are going to make a huge impact in Africa. Don't underestimate underdogs.
Yeah.
Understand? Dreams FC and Medeama are going into the competition as underdogs.
Yeah.
And you know how much of a surprise some underdogs have put up in big tournaments like the World Cup, the AFCON. We saw Madagascar eliminating Nigeria the other time in the AFCON.
Yep.
So we shouldn't underestimate our team. Let us give them the confidence.
Yes.
They can make Ghana proud. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you so much
for
reaching us and putting in your submission here. You can still call us 055 9242 717 and 055 69 10154. Just join us and let's share your thoughts and let's know what you're thinking about Medeama SC and also Dreams FC's qualification into the group stage of the CAF Champions League and then the CAF Confederations Cup respectively. But at the moment, Bill Ishen is standing by to bring us something really, really special. Bill, are you ready? Bill, before I come to you though, there's a call on the line. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Daniel Cransing.
Sorry?
Daniel Cransing.
Daniel Hey, you hey, Daniel Cransing, what's up? Anyway, let's move on. Bill, let's get to you and what you are ready to share for us.
Yeah, so we're going to look at the financial implications of the qualifications of course, Dreams FC to the CAF Confederation Cup and also Medeama to the CAF Champions League. Now, over the years, a lot of the teams that have struggled and have battled to get to this particular stage, which is the money zone, have always stated that they want to get to this stage because it helps them a lot financially. And earlier this year in 2023, CAF decided to increase the prize pool that will come to the CAF Champions League and also the CAF Confederation Cup. Now, these are the figures for earlier this year when CAF decided to release them. Now, the winner of the CAF Champions League will be earning $4 million. That of the runner-up will be $2 million. That of the semi-finalists will be 1.2. Quarter-finalists will be 900,000. Third in group stage will be 700,000, and also fourth in group stage will be 700,000. So in this case, you could definitely say that Medeama would earn at least 700,000 if they participate in the CAF Champions League. So that's if they are knocked out at fourth or at third, they are guaranteed to earn 700,000. And for that of the CAF Confederation Cup, the winner will be earning 2 million. The runner-up will be earning 1 million. Semi-finalist is 750,000. That of quarter-finalist is 550. That of third in group stage is 400, and that of fourth in group stage is also 400. So Dreams will also be earning at least $400,000 for just participating.
Bill, just take me through this. $400,000 US.
Yeah.
I mean, what can it do for a club like Dreams FC?
For a club like Dreams, I mean, when it comes to getting more players, when it comes to improving training facilities, and I mean, improving some other facilities that they have in their team, that will go a long way to improve that. It's a lot of money. I mean, 400,000 is not small change.
Yeah.
And so I mean, looking at this, if you compare to a winner in the Ghana Premier League for this season, I mean, it was increased to 500,000 Ghana cedis by Keto Kriku.
Okay.
Now, if you convert that to dollars, it's around $43,000.
Okay.
Just 43,000. So consider Medeama participating in the CAF Champions League.
Yeah.
They're earning 700,000
Yeah.
for just being in a group stage.
Yeah.
And compare that to 500,000 or 43,000 US dollars. That will be around 16 times. 16 times. And looking at that of Dreams FC, 400 compared to 43,000 US dollars. That's around 9 times approximately. So that is just the base value. Now, if for some reason Medeama go all the way to win the competition and they are earning 4 million US
4 million
dollars,
US dollars. Yeah.
that is 93 times.
Amazing.
Oreku is laughing. Oreku is laughing because he thinks we are getting ahead of ourselves.
No, just allow Bill to finish.
Yeah.
Just allow Bill to finish.
93 times.
Amazing.
As compared to a winner in the Ghana Premier League. And if, of course, Dreams also win, that's 2 million. That will be around 40 times compared to if they win the Ghana Premier League. So there will be that question of if they should, concentrate more on the CAF competitions or they should just focus on the Ghana Premier League.
But you see, the thing is that you could focus more on the CAF competitions, but you have to do well here before you get there.
Yeah.
And so that's where it becomes dicey. Oreku, you wanted to say something?
I was saying that Bill is talking about Medeama winning the CAF Champions League. I was like, then can start thinking about a day with Rihanna, for me.
Instead of Oreku to think about Joe from Spintex. He's over here saying, think about Joe from Spintex.
Joe says you are being too cynical.
Rick, why are you going
like-
at Medeama like that?
Well, like diamonds in the sky. Charlie, call Rihanna for me. You want Medeama to wake up?
Make a DM man for Bill.
All right, Bill, are you done with the submission?
Yeah,
all
of
right,
course.
thank you so much. And so it comes all the way down to 10th position. So that the person who is 10th in the Ghana Premier League gets 20,000 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
Incredible.
But it's funny to think about how
Yeah.
if Medeama don't even show up for any game, they still get 700,000.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's huge. That improves their finances. How many times? 16 times.
60 times.
Amazing.
60 times.
Amazing. That's
All of a
If you
sudden,
even add what everybody is going to earn,
the thing is that we're just looking at prize money from CAF. I'm sure there are other avenues. They'll probably get more sponsors.
yeah.
They would also be getting money from the FA. It's good to be in.
And the thing about it is,
Yeah.
before these new figures were brought out,
Yeah.
in the previous figures, the FA was standing to gain 5% of wherever the club will get to.
Really?
Yeah.
They take some of the money.
Yeah.
Why?
But that's separate, of course. It's not touching the club's actual figure. But they will convert it. I mean, if it's 700,000, that means 5% will be somewhere around 35,000. But it's not touching that of the club. It's just separate. That they would also take and then use it for their own selves.
The FA will take that money.
Yeah.
And use it for what?
But that was before.
So that has been changed.
So the confirmation of the new percentage isn't out yet.
But they will
That's-
take.
Oh, if it comes there, why wouldn't they take?
Oreku wants to take the money to buy not Van Cleef, but Vivian Cleef.
All right. Bill, thank you so much for bringing us the financials and then the updates on how much the clubs are earning and what it means in terms of the prize money for the Ghana Premier League as well. Aniela, let me give you a chance to talk about the monies, the financials, before we head on to the Ghana Premier League conversation.
It's a lot of money, yo. If I don't even want to draw the analogy because it's a whole lot of money. But again, I'm very happy for Dreams because this is going to be very big for them. But on the other hand, Charlie, even if House of Folk win the league, see what them they take. Bro, it'd be crazy, but I could also use some 500,000.
Right, so you heard that from Aniela Lote, and that's Bill Eshen, who also brought us the financials in there. I mean, incredible amount of money that Medeama would be earning. If you're a Medeama fan, it is a really, really good time to support your club, and I'm sure that everyone in Takwa is ecstatic. Tomorrow morning at the Moving Pick Hotel, Medeama SC will have their first ever press conference after that brilliant qualification into the group stage of the CAF Champions League. And thank you also to those who called and made their suggestions and assertions known to us. This is still the Sports Ultras, and we are here on 3FM 92.7. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell their father and everybody that they should tune in to the show. Kelvin, Ghana Premier League. Today, Great Olympics have beaten Gold Stars, and then just take us to the other, results.
How do they say? They posted something. My guy is not correct. That day, Bafi.
Yeah,
what does it mean?
That day, Bafi. That they will do it.
That they will do it. You are looking at me. When we tell you to speak to you, are you able to?
And I'm just hoping that we'll skip the Ghana Premier League because House of Oak did not do the job.
Wow. So yeah, I think it's been an interesting week. It started on Friday. Yes, brilliant game there for Accra Lions. I think they are becoming good on the road as well, and that is certainly what they need to do if they want to stay in Ghana, in the Ghana Premier League. Last season they were very good until the final 10 games where the results weren't encouraging. So they nearly went to relegation. It was a 1-1 result in that particular game for them. That was against Brekum Chelsea, and it was very good. On Saturday in Sunyane, Before Kwatano, 7 points. They are unbeaten in the Ghana Premier League. The returnees have come with some magical cells, and then they managed to defeat Accra Sofuk by go to a brilliant finish from Saka Dauda, and I think it was just an impressive.
Hold on, Oriku, do you think Richard Atta could have done better with that ball?
No, I think it's a bit harsh. The ball was in the corner. It was a perfect. It's too precise.
Now I'm asking because when I posted the goal, everybody was bashing him, and I felt like the angle didn't quite favor him.
Yeah, Atta has reached the level where every goal he's going to be blamed for it, and it's almost like the Maguire syndrome where he's not going to enjoy his time at Heart of Oak anymore. The fans, whenever they see him in the starting 11, they are bemused, they are agitated, they are frustrated, and so they're just taking out their frustrations on him. Because I thought the strike was really good, not a lot of power, but it hits the side of the net, and usually it's very difficult for keepers to get access to that. Maybe his positioning could have been better. He looked almost like he was sitting on the floor relaxing.
He looked more like
hey.
I said that undertone.
Come on, let's go on.
So after Saturday, today, Great Olympics, brilliant finish from Michael Osei.
Yeah,
that was a fantastic goal, a striker's goal. It takes a lot of intuition to kick the ball or hit the ball from that particular spot. He helped Great Olympics defeat Michael Osei's Gold Stars. So Michael Osei defeating Michael Osei's Gold Stars by 1-0 at the Accra Sports Stadium. Lagos City's good result for Parkers Ifeben, and they defeated Adriana FC 2-1 at the Elwak Stadium. And Samatex thrashed Bichim United 4-1. That is an amazing result.
So Oriku and I were talking about that game. Bichim took the lead. All right.
Yes.
Within a few minutes, I check again, it's 2-1.
They were just banging in the goals.
And then they get a penalty. It becomes 3-1. I didn't even know it was 4-1.
4-1. They ended 4-1.
Incredible.
And then RTU, Heart of Lions, drew 2-0 there. And I think Lions are picking up some very good points away. They picked a point in Kumasi. They've traveled to Tamale to pick a point. Let's not forget they managed to win their home game. And if it continues like that, it will be good. I've always wanted some of these traditional outfits or clubs who are well noted to be from these properly, well-built communities to just evolve and then stay in the league. The sort of energy and vibe that they give to the league is unmatched. Look at how Sunyane burst to Bofokwatano and the Heart of Oak game. They were taking as high as 100 Ghana cedis for a VIP seat in Sunyane, and people were paying it. Even what they call the mole mole. They were taking 50 Ghana cedis. But in Kumasi, if you want to take 40 Ghana cedis for popular stand for a Kotoko game, fans get agitated that you are not even doing well, so why do you want to take that? But they take that amount in these zones, and then people are willing to pay. And I think it's good and impressive to see some of these sides getting back stronger. Who would have thought Heart of Lions and Bofo will come with that sort of energy that they've come into the league with? Very good results. And currently, Asante Kotoko, after 35 minutes, down by 1-0. Evans Adumaku Redu. Yes, the rejected stone. He's come back to Kumasi
to be the cornerstone.
cornerstone.
So wait, does it mean that if Kotoko lose this game, So far, they have 1 point.
Yeah, so it looks like they are going to sink further because
So
relegation zone.
Kotoko and what's the name? Sheffield United.
Yes.
I was going to say Luton Town, but Luton won. Exactly. But Aniela, let me come to you. Hearts Kotoko, checkered form. I mean, I don't know. It's like these two guys are married to each other. Hearts have managed to get a win. Kotoko struggling to get a win at the Baba Yara Stadium.
I mean, for both clubs, this performance, to say the least, is very underwhelming. And I just remember on Warmer Plus, we've been discussing with some of the guys, and they keep giving the impression that it's early days yet, things would pick up. But honestly, for clubs of that caliber, you don't see, say, Manchester City like having a very slow start to the season. And these are the teams that, season in, season out, they are the ones that top the league. So I think that something has got to give. For Kotoko, I still want to, associate myself with those saying it's early days yet and that they will surely pick up. But I don't know what's going on with the club, honestly. And for them to even concede to Karela United, at the time Oreku had started celebrating the goal, I was a little shocked because I just thought that the game had just started. So that's just about 8. Within the first 10 minutes or less of the game, they had conceded a goal. And I think that given their past few performances, like just 2 previous games, but you can tell that the morale of the team generally and the energy around the team is very low. For Accra Hearts of Oak, at least if they had been drawn, I would have taken that. But it's the Coronation Park. And I think like Kelvin was saying, it means a whole lot more to the fans. They're building somewhat of a stronghold. And it's beautiful to see because you see some of these clubs make a return and the love for football in that community is there. If they go back and play more games there, it can only get better from there, the whole development of the game. And we're seeing some of the goals here and there and to the best of it on social media. But honestly, maybe if you ask me again a few weeks from now about Accra Hearts of Oak and as article to come, maybe my ideals will change.
Well, most definitely. Hopefully it changes and then they get better. We're going to move on from the Ghana Premier League and head into the UEFA Champions League. And I'm sure you are yearning to hear what's going to happen in there. Oreku says he has odds for you guys today. So
somebody who is not in the competition. Somebody who is not playing.
Right, and so we're heading to the UEFA Champions League, and the UEFA Champions League fixtures on Tuesday has Union Berlin taking on Braga, and then Salzburg taking on Real Sociedad, Inter Benfica, PSV will face Sevilla, Man United will take on Galatasaray, Copenhagen will face Bayern Munich, Napoli will take on Real Madrid in Naples, and then Lens will also face Arsenal, Antwerp will take on Shakhtar Donetsk, Atletico Madrid will face Feyenoord, and then the Red Star Belgrade will take on the Young Boys, and then Dortmund will also face Milan. That's also another really good game that's coming up. On Wednesday, still on Wednesday fixtures, Man City will take on Leipzig, and then Newcastle United will face PSG. We'll talk about the Newcastle United first. That game, we'll talk about that game first. Then Celtic will take on Lazio, and then Porto will also face Barcelona, 2 former winners of the competition. Oreku, let's start with Newcastle PSG.
I think it would be a great game. Maybe 2 weeks ago, I would have said that it looks very one-sided in favor of Paris Saint-Germain. But there's just been an upside in form for Eddie Howe's men. I think since that 1-0 win against Brentford and the goalless draw at the San Siro, they look like a new side. Beginning of the season, they were struggling. There were talks as to whether they could replicate last season's performances. And you're looking at the last 3 games, they put 8 past Sheffield. They beat Manchester City at home in the Carabao Cup. And then just this weekend, they beat Burnley. And what they've demonstrated in these 3 games, especially against City, is that they can afford to drop some of their key players and the energy, the playing style would still be maintained at an appreciable level. And that's the wish of any coach, to have a squad that you can always put your hand in and pick a player who would put a high level performance, even if they're not in the starting side. And so I think bearing this in mind, it probably makes it a very close fixture, especially because their opponent, Paris Saint-Germain themselves, have also been struggling a bit for form recently. They do 0-0 away against Clermont-Foot. And they're struggling to get into the top top places in League A so far.
Yeah.
I think Enrique still doesn't know his best starting 11. He's getting to discover a lot more on his team, and so it's the best time to face them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I still think they have enough tools to really get to gear 3, gear 4, gear 5, maybe later on the season from December going. But it's good to face them now, especially from the point of view of Newcastle, that they stand a chance now when they are still trying to figure themselves out. And I think that for Newcastle, they would give themselves every possible fighting chance, because I think the golden rule in the Champions League is to win your 3 home games and try and get something away.
Yeah.
You've already got that something away at the San Siro. And so technically, I mean, historically, we've seen 10 points being enough to qualify out of the group, especially a very tough group with the likes of Dortmund, Paris Saint-Germain. I think 10 points would be enough. They've got the 1 point out on the road now. Can they get those 3 wins at the St. James's Park? Because if they do that, I think they'll be able to qualify. And that's what Edu Howe will be telling them, that look, they've beaten some really good teams here in the Premier League in the past year or so.
Yeah.
They just beat Man City a week ago.
Yeah.
Paris Saint-Germain shouldn't put any fear in them. This is a team that hasn't won the Champions League.
Yeah.
This is a team that has been soul searching for a number of years now. And so although they do come across as a big team, I don't think they should be able, they should scare this Newcastle
Let me
team.
ask you this question though. The places of interest, Ousmane Dembele and Kylian Mbappe on the right and then on the left. If you look at the Newcastle defense, it's Dan Burn and Kieran Trippier. Do they have enough to stop these guys?
I think the match will probably be more than PSG versus Newcastle's Newcastle's defense versus PSG's attack, because from what we've seen, Newcastle are home at a different side.
Yeah.
They love to be on the front foot. They would love to press Paris Saint-Germain, and I think it's a case of who would be more intent on the day, because we know for someone like Luis Enrique, his team would set up to try and keep the ball and move the ball quickly and move the opponent around. And for Newcastle, they thrive in chaos. They want to disrupt the flow of the game. They want to speed things up, get into your box quickly. So I think it's 2 contrasting styles that are really going to face off, which will make it a very interesting spectacle. But if you're doing the matchup in terms of the players, attackers of PSG and Newcastle's defense, then Newcastle don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
But as a collective unit, I do think that they really have a very good opportunity to make a historic night in Europe by picking off something from Paris Saint-Germain when they do visit. And I think it's the best time, considering the form that the French side are in at the moment.
Right. Aniela, let me give you a chance to talk about Arsenal. The team gets to Lens in the French league. What's going to happen?
A victory, obviously. That's exactly what's going to happen. And I'm happy more so because of this victory that we just had against Bournemouth. You know, Arsenal has this way of playing where if they drop form, then it starts going downhill from there. We've seen that in the league a number of times with just a few more games to go, and then they completely drop the ball. Now they're currently riding on a high, and it's even more crucial that we had kept a clean sheet in that game we just played recently. So I think that going into this game, once again, riding off from our PSV victory, it can only get better from there. I'm guessing it's going to be Raya in the post flowing from our conversation. But he kept a clean sheet. Let's call a spade a spade. Yeah. That's a clean sheet right there. But Ramsdale to EFL, he will keep the clean sheet. So we'll take it like that. Our options are good either way. But I think that now I'd like to see a lot more from our strikers up front, and their goals coming in there. Saka is he was never really a timid boy. I shouldn't say so, but now he has a lot of confidence up front. He'll take the chance and then it'll be a goal in there. Now the likes of Kai Oriku, they've also opened. I'm not talking about it. Not Chelsea. I'm talking about Kai, but he came from Oriku, so I have to give Oriku the props for that. But and I think that Odegaard is doing something really good. You can see him trying to push the players in there, step up to the plate.
Odegaard is
Odegaard. And sometimes you forget he's a young guy, but he's really kept the team very much together, and it's showing in the way that we play. I'm hoping that Kai Havertz will be able to pick up from this one. It's a penalty, it's still a goal, but I'd like to see him score much more goals from open play. And yes, again, Jesus, I hope that he's able to maintain some sort of form. Some of our players are injured, but hopefully all will be well for the game.
I like the way you didn't even talk about Lens. You just went straight, all guns blazing on Arsenal.
That's it.
Kelvin, let me
put your hand down, Riku.
Riku, you wanted to say something?
No, I'm just wondering, as an Arsenal fan, you play in the Champions League and just a few days after you play Manchester City in the league.
Yeah.
Considering that you've come off the back of a Carabao midweek and a Premier League midweek this weekend, would you consider resting some of your players for the City game?
Yeah.
Am I Arteta? Do I look like Arteta?
No, I'm saying from your point of view.
From your point of
No,
view.
I think that Arteta would have to be very strategic about what he decides to do, because Manchester City, they've shown time and time again that they are not easy opponents.
They'll beat you.
And if we don't try and nick this in the bud,
They'll beat you.
they will not beat
They will
us.
beat you.
They will not beat us. Please, big Bravo Bye. Please.
So what will you do?
We will
Are you
walk
resting
away
players?
with. We will. We have to also go full guns blazing when it's City, because if you drop the money, we can't take the league again. Are they not tired? Pep, are you not tired? We will win the game. It will be a close one, but we'll win the game. I said 3-2.
Kelvin, let me give you a bite on the Milan Dortmund game.
Yeah.
And then we can move on to the Premier League.
Well, I think it's going to be a bit tough. We've seen how AC Milan started the season, or even last season, getting to the end of the season, it ended for them. It was a bit, topsy-turvy for them. Not the great results they would have wanted to churn out. Borussia Dortmund themselves, just like you see Arsenal play 2 games and then they go off the third. It's the same thing with Borussia Dortmund. There are times, a very stable team, and then Marco Reus walks off with injury. You see this the guy who scored that goal against Chelsea but couldn't. Karim Adeyemi, he'll play excellently. They'll bank their hopes on him, and he also gets injured in defense. You expect the experienced Niklas Süle and Mats Hummels, and then out of nowhere they'll just make some costly mistake, and then it brings the team down to wherever they've always been. But I still trust that experience in these competitions would always count. And judging from the result, after AC Milan started the season poorly, Inter walloped them, and then they got to the Champions League, that Newcastle draw. I think they've learned their lessons. I've seen them really play some good games after that, winning very good games and getting the results that they need. I expect them this time around to have a very good victory, and I'm not sure anything is going to come their way. Dortmund may struggle, but I think the best possibly for them could be a draw.
Okay, and you heard that from Kelvin Oswansan talking about the Milan and Dortmund game. Oriku says you should wait for him. He'll bring you the odds later. I mean, for the Champions League. But but before we get into the Premier League, I mean, the Premier League is our biggest conversation today. I mean, after the Medeama and Dreams qualification to the group stage, because we've seen so many poor refereeing calls. Ulrich is going to take us through some of those refereeing calls and what it has meant, for the Premier League and officiating generally, right after this little break. Well, let's get into the Premier League fixtures. As I mentioned earlier, Aston Villa beating Brighton by 6-1. Incredible performance there. Oli Watkins walking away with the match ball. And then Arsenal beating Bournemouth by 4-0. Everton losing at home to Luton Town at the Goodison Park. They lost to Luton by 2-1, which is a result that, it didn't quite many football fans didn't quite understand that result, but Crystal Palace also beat Man United by 1-0 at home at Old Trafford. And then Newcastle United also beat Burnley by 2-0. West Ham United are on the form of their life. They beat Sheffield United also by 2-0. And then the Wolverhampton Wanderers also took on Manchester City and beat them by 2-1. And Spurs also beat Liverpool by 2-1. Our focus is going to be on that Spurs game because Liverpool were robbed. Luis Diaz got a really fine goal right after Liverpool had been shown a red card. The red card was shown to Curtis Jones, and then Luis Diaz, just got a chance in there and put the ball behind the net, but the referees ruled it offside. After that, the Referees Association came out to apologize and said they had gotten it wrong. Reku, what can you tell us?
Well, it's a very sensitive and difficult discussion, especially when you look at the repercussions of some of these decisions in the past few years. But one apology is fine. Everyone makes mistakes. We do admit that. But to apologize 13 times since 2022 is damning, is unacceptable. And it's time that serious conversations were had. For me, I think that the perfect referee is the one which, after a game, no one talks about him. It's almost like a central defensive midfielder. They have their best games when no one sees them. That's because they keep things simple and they do what's expected of them. That is what English referees should be looking at instead of being at the center stage every week. So now let's start from 2022, where back in February, Manchester City's Rodri handled the ball in his own box against Everton away at Goodison Park. And after that, we saw the PGMOL, come out to say that they do apologize for that decision. And the thing is, in the end, apology, fine, accepted. But Manchester City go on to win the league on the final day. Who knows what a penalty or a possible equalizer for Everton could have done to the result in that game. And a team like Liverpool feels this. And unfortunately, they can't get that back. So one time happened, okay, fine, you've apologized. And then there's another one where Luca Digne is judged to have, handled the ball. And so this was Andy Madley, awarding a penalty following a check on VAR. And the decision went against Digne, where he was clearly being held and the ball the proximity was too close, headed to his arm, penalty awarded. And the thing is, VAR was brought in to be able to avoid some of these mistakes, but the referee actually looked at the VAR and still went on to give that decision. And they come back and apologize. Once again, September 2022, referee went back to the VAR monitor after West Ham had scored and thought they had made it 2-2. But unfortunately, the goal was disallowed because Bowen was adjudged to have fouled Mendy in the build-up to Kone's equalizer. David Moyes was apologized to by Howard Webb, and for Moyes, he was extremely disappointed. And he was quoted saying that if this what VAR is going to do, then we have to get rid of it, or rather change the people who are behind the VAR. And then Mitchell scores an own goal here. This video was ridiculous, actually. You have Willock being adjudged to have bumped into the goalkeeper, that's Vicente Guaita, and that wasn't even the case. If anything, it was Guaita that rather fouled Willock. VAR took a very lengthy look at this one and still decided that it was a foul by Willock, and so that goal wouldn't stand. And then there's Manchester United versus Arsenal at Old Trafford in September, Mikel Arteta's first defeat of the season, where Odegaard was adjudged to have fouled Christian Eriksen in the middle of the park, leading to Martinelli's goal. Once again, Arsenal got the apology. And then some weeks later, Douglas Luiz was sent off against Fulham. And the thing is, after the apology, Luiz was given the opportunity to play in the next match. The red card was rescinded, but the effects were once again felt during the game. And there's nothing that you can do after to bring what could have possibly happened during the game. And then there's the instance of Nottingham-Brentford, where there was a collision between Dean Henderson and Johan Wieser. Replay showed that Wieser initiated a contact, but Brentford were still given the penalty. Howard Webb once again apologized after the match to Nottingham Forest. And then this for me was very, very ridiculous. Manchester United fans wouldn't want to watch this back. If you remember, Lucas Digne scored this free kick against Manchester United for Aston Villa, but the wall was nowhere near 10 yards. You don't even need to go to a refereeing course to see this. If anything, the Aston Villa wall, which is in front of the Manchester United wall, looks like it is 10 yards as opposed to the Man United wall, which is all the way back. And it's shocking to see referees who have years of experience making some shocking calls as this one. And if you thought that was shocking, then you should hold your cup of water and take a look at the next two. Because for this one, Arsenal were denied a goal. Arsenal were denied 2 points, against Brentford because a goal scored by Brentford, that's their equalizer, was adjudged to have been legal, where if you can see the player behind who becomes active after the header was in an offside position, but the lines were drawn in a certain way that he wasn't considered, and they rather used Ivan Toney. And so after that, Lee Mason, had to apologize, and he was taken off the game a couple of games as punishment. Mikel Arteta was very angry because if you remember, this is the second time that his club had been directly affected and apologized to. That's roughly about potentially 4 points in a title race that was really tied to Manchester City. And then to make things worse, on that same day of that Arsenal game, Palace also do have a 1-1 draw with Brighton, but this time it was a mistake. Estupiñán got a goal. If you realize, the offside line is being drawn from this arm when there's actually a player behind, whoever is being used for the offside line. And so that doesn't even make any sense. Like, it's so embarrassing at times that this happens, and then there's an apology. And guess what? He's only suspended for 2 games and he comes back. That's John Brooks. And we go on to more instances where Tottenham, Brighton, clearly Mitoma was stepped on, should have had a penalty. VAR doesn't give it. And it was a day where Brighton should have got away with something. So many decisions didn't go their way. They received an apology. And then most recently, when this season started, Onana clattering into Kalajit in the box late on Old Trafford. Manchester United should have considered a penalty. Jonathan Moss apologized for the mistake. Gary O'Neill, who's the coach of Wolves, accepted and he said it was appreciated. Jurgen Klopp didn't appreciate the apology too much. He says that, apologies are easy, but it is really expensive because at this juncture, if Luis Diaz, his goal had stood, Liverpool go in front, and we are seeing Liverpool with 10 men against Newcastle. So it could have potentially given them something on the road in a very difficult season, considering that they'll be competing against Manchester City and Arsenal likely for the title. Now, the interesting thing I think about this call is that I think is the worst out of the 13 that I've showed you. Let me explain why. So Luis Diaz scored from this chance, as we've all seen. And then the on-field decision was that it was offside. So the celebration was actually paused. Now VAR looked at the offside, drew the lines, and came to a conclusion that no, it is onside. But the mistake came in from Darren England, thinking that the on-field decision was that the goal had been accepted. And so he goes ahead and tells the referee that check complete. You can actually continue, thinking that he has accepted the goal. And so Spurs played a free kick, and the game goes on. And I'm just wondering, we've seen Manchester United and Brighton finish a whole game, coaches shake hands, players start walking to the tunnel, and are called back because VAR saw a handball and a penalty. Why can't the game be brought back if Spurs had played that free kick? What happened after that free kick that the game could not be stopped if they noticed there was an error? Sometimes it makes it so difficult to rationalize the decisions that they are making, and it's really sad. Because we've seen games go on 2-3 minutes and was brought back later for a decision because VAR were checking it. What stopped the referees from giving the goal even a minute after the game had continued? It would have been better to accept that than to go on and apologize, which I think looks really, really disgraceful in the end. Because think about what Liverpool went through all week. The investments they've made in terms of nutrition for the players, the tactics, the video analysts, all the work that goes into clubs, traveling, accommodation, every single pound that went into preparation this week for this game was to ensure that Liverpool get 3 points. And now they've been denied just because referees couldn't do their work. You ask yourself, was VAR brought in to help referees or to create more controversy. And for me, I don't even know a way forward because everything you suggest has been done already. If I take you back to the day where the Arsenal and the Palace offside happened, Howard Webb, who is the refereeing chief officer, called an emergency meeting that week and met all the referees. After that meeting, you saw the chain of mistakes that they made and apologies that they did again. So clearly that meeting didn't work. It's not a case of whether the referees don't know or I think they know. So then again, you wonder, is it deliberate? Is it lack of concentration? Are they not happy? There are so many questions that need to be asked. But the thing is that you cannot punish clubs for your incompetence. It needs to stop. Why are referees being overprotected? Why are they not being banned if they make mistakes? Why are they only going away for 2 games and come back like everything is supposed to continue the way that it is? I think it's unfair for clubs. And if you look at the trend, it's not as if they're trying to help one club. Everyone is a victim at a point. That's why I think all clubs need to come together and fight this. Look, the Premier League is a great product. But in the end, if this continues, I think the bad refereeing could taint the product to an extent where it doesn't even become as attractive as it's supposed to be.
You heard that from Ori Kampofo there speaking about all of those incidents, and it's crazy to know that there's been 13 times that the Referees Association have actually apologized over decisions like this. Aniela, you want to say something?
Yeah, it's very disappointing because throughout the conversation, Oreko has pointed out that what VAR in effect came to do was to correct human error. So how can it be the very vehicle that's adding on to things? I get that there may be technical difficulties and things, but for it to be recurring this number of times, it's crazy. Yeah. Look at the Liverpool game. Look at Diaz, for instance. All they did was to apologize, and that's all it would be because you cannot overturn it. It has completely changed the way the game went.
And you see, the thing is that it would have turned the game on its head.
It really would have. Yeah. It really would have, because look at them. They were playing how many men?
10.
Held it together until the very last minute. Like anything could have happened. There have been different instances. Like perhaps if some of these decisions hadn't stood, the way the table may have turned, or even who would have ended up winning the league could have changed. Yeah. I don't know how we'll just take it on and move on with it. But something has got to give, honestly. Maybe if they need to bring, I don't know, a third, fourth liner to check some of these things.
They will still get it wrong, trust me. Kelvin.
I think the VR was supposed to remove the errors in officiating, but they've only added another layer of human error or a possible human error. You look at yesterday's game, and even from the naked eye, you could just see that this was close to call. Yeah. So the best thing or the least you could have done was just to draw the lines. But it was so quick and sudden, and even Gary Neville made mention of that when they had the first pictures from the VR cameras. In a matter of a few seconds, check complete, go.
But yeah, we've seen times for minutes it would be analyzed.
So that was highly unfortunate. And you ask yourself, why were they in a rush to make that decision? Because this is a game that was going to determine who goes top. If Liverpool had won, they would have gone top of Manchester City. Yeah. And definitely, Jurgen Klopp in recent times think that they've been given very bad officiating to prevent them from getting the best results. Yeah. How then do you become so cruel to a club like this? Yeah. And it actually changed the game. Yeah. And for me, I think that the earlier the better the Premier League resort to taking their time in using the VAR. We all see the Spanish La Liga. Yesterday, I think there was this goal. Was it Take's goal or the third goal for Sociedad? Yeah. They took their time. When we all realized, come on, this is the goal, they took their time to verify whether there was offside or not. And then they actually came to a conclusion that it wasn't offside. The goal has to stand. And it stood. So I don't see how the Premier League referees are making these errors and unpardonable mistakes, and then they will come back and then just apologize to the clubs. It's bad. It's terrible.
I think we understand. Aside from all of these apologies and everything after the results are bad, the even worse rule is not speaking back to the ref. Exactly. And getting yellow cards for it or getting red cards for it. I don't get it.
You know, even challenging.
It'd be so hard to keep your emotions at bay under circumstances.
It's a game of football. The adrenaline levels just go high at any point in time.
Especially now where added time is way more than it was previously. Yeah. What would it kill just to spare a few more minutes to make the right decisions?
Exactly. You see, the thing is, the PGMOL had a whole summer to think of how to improve refereeing, and they decided that we'll do this by giving the referees more power, which I think is daft. Yeah. Because in the end, you're just empowering people who are incompetent at their job. Now you are giving them more power, and they feel the need that, look, even if I get it wrong, but there's nothing that anyone can do to me.
Yeah.
Because essentially, what's happening now is that people can't challenge them, people can't talk to them in their face, and so they feel free and they do whatever pleases them. I was very disappointed to see them rather enforce rules like that. I was looking forward to hearing that this is what we've done over the summer to ensure that we will rather improve the level of refereeing in the Premier League. But to say that now if you confront, you get a yellow card, if you talk in this way, you get a yellow card and all that, I was utterly disappointed. But I think one of the main problems is the fact that the reason why you're seeing a lot of controversies in the Premier League is that there is this sudden need to sacrifice accuracy for speed.
Yep.
For the Premier League, if you realize from the onset when the VAR came in years ago, they mentioned that it's in their best efforts to ensure that the speed of the game is still maintained, the flow of the game is still maintained, even with VAR. So if you realize, they came with a niche that unless it has to do with a mistaken identity, a straight red card, a goal, offside, VAR would not be used for anything else. And all of this was an effort to ensure that you don't have to use it so many times. And it's also part of the reason why they use this couch phrase of clear and obvious error. That if they think the referee hasn't made a clear and obvious error, VAR can't intervene, just to ensure that we have a natural flow to the game. But to what extent? To what extent would you put millions of dollars in this technology across the country if they are going to sit down and look at the wrong decisions and not talk just because of the flow of the game in inverted commas?
Well, I mean, Liverpool have really been undone by that refereeing error there. Now, just 11 minutes ago, Liverpool Football Club have tweeted. They say Liverpool Football Club acknowledges PGMOL's admission of their failures last night. It is clear that the correct application of the laws of the game did not occur, resulting in sporting integrity being undermined. And so Liverpool have put out a statement where, they are talking about the PGMOL's admission of the failures.
If they are really sorry, I dare them to release the video. We've seen them selectively release audio tapes of some VAR decisions. If they think they are transparent and they are really sorry, they should release that.
Let's see the process. Let's see what went.
Let's see what exactly happened after. I'm more interested in what happened after, when the referee found out that the decision had been made. I really want to see the thought process, because that's how we can genuinely believe if you made an error or whether, because it just doesn't make sense to me. Why you couldn't stop the game even if there's no rule that says that VAR cannot stop once the game goes. We can't stop it.
And the funny thing is, we've seen offsides where the player's armpit is off and then they take it. This guy's trailing leg. The Spurs player had a trailing leg.
Yes.
Right there. Like it was and Diaz was even behind the leg. It was clear. How do you not take that
without the lines?
Look,
you see it.
I have I've seen referees officiate games. Whenever there's a goal, they mention to their fourth official who scored the goal, the jersey number. They are in constant communication. So if you VAR, you are thinking that the on-field decision was to accept the goal, and they've already accepted it. So you are confirming and you say check complete. Where is the information from the main referee to the fourth official that goal has been scored, accepted now, Luis Diaz? Those details are always taken before the kick-off.
It's a process before you get to VAR ultimately. So you're trying to tell me that we skipped all these steps and then we just go with
he
the
didn't give those details because he's saying that, okay, goal wasn't given, offside, I'm waiting for you. Why is VAR even checking if the goal... Look, it doesn't make sense. Listen to the reasoning. You are saying that you thought the on-field decision was a goal. Meanwhile, Luis Diaz has stopped celebrating. Referee has stopped. Linesman has lifted the flag. The stadium has stopped, held their breath. And everyone was waiting. So if you claim the goal was given, where were the celebrations? At what point... It didn't even last for 2 seconds.
No.
I don't see how you can pretend that goal was given.
It was too sharp. I feel like Diaz knew that it was.
It was go either way. He was stopped in his tracks, waiting for what you would say about it. And look how it ended up.
Look, they communicate with linesman 1, linesman 2, fourth official. There's the match commissioner before the VAR.
They called Howard Webster for house, and they still got it wrong.
I don't know how you can have so many chains of. All they had to do was. Oh, stop! Wait! I think we might have mixed this up. Let's clarify. What? No, the lines were drawn. Oh, They said check complete.
Listen, no,
they
weren't drawn.
They weren't drawn on the.
But VAR checked it and said check complete. To them, it was
drawn wrongly.
Yeah.
No,
because Gary Neville said they did not see the lines drawn. The only thing was the communication that came from the VAR officials that check complete, go, and offside.
You see, the thing is that if you read the statements, what they are acknowledging is that from their end, they checked the goal and it was a legitimate goal. The only reason they said check complete was that they thought the referee had given the goal already. And so they were just confirming it. And so they've confirmed it at their end.
That is Jimmy of the highest level.
It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't.
Jimmy.
And I don't know why you feel like an authority, a body that you just come and say sorry for us and we believe you. We can't question you.
Yeah.
If I was Liverpool, I'm not accepting this. I'm requesting for the tape.
Yeah.
I'm requesting for the tape. I need to find out what went on.
I agree with you. I mean, I'm not a big Liverpool sympathizer. I mean, but I just can't deal with this. This is clear injustice. I mean,
it's bad.
Liverpool, I can't support it after the 7-0. I mean, but
I was waiting for you to say that.
But yesterday, they deserve something from that game. And that
true.
Luis Diaz ball should have been given. I mean, so that's it. Oreku, thank you so much for that monologue and explaining things to us here on the Sports Ultras. You're still listening to us right here on 3FM 92.7. Keep your dial here. We're getting you to the La Liga at the moment. And Bill Eshen has joined us again. Bill, take me through the La Liga. Real Madrid winning and also Villarreal. I mean, this season they're not doing too good. But let's talk about Madrid first.
Yeah, so Real Madrid, of course, faced Girona in La Liga this weekend, and they managed to defeat them by 3-0 despite receiving a red card in the game. Of course, Joselu scored once again for the team. Tchouaméni also scored, and Bellingham continued his fine form for Real Madrid. I think this is like one of the 2-3 games where Real Madrid seemed a bit more comfortable as compared to the other games this season. They've always had to rely on those lead goals from Bellingham and those lead goals from other players in the team. So it's refreshing to see that this team managed to actually get a good result. And Girona haven't been pushovers this season, actually. I mean, they've been one of the top teams. They've been getting good results, and so it's a really significant win for Real Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, just to put it into perspective, Girona have played 8 games. They've won 6.
Yeah,
which is incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
incredible.
That's amazing for them. What a start to the season. I'm really taking notice of them.
Exactly.
But the fairy tale is over.
Oh. You dare.
Why? You know, when Chelsea, when your club is not doing well, so now,
you know, misery loves company.
Yeah.
So he wants others to join him.
Exactly.
Bill, let's go to the other results.
Yeah, so Osasuna defeated Alaves by 2-0. Granada defeated Almeria. They drew 3-3. Sociedad defeated Bilbao by 3-0.
Yeah, that was a derby.
Kubo. Kubo on fire. Kubo. I mean, he's still a Real Madrid player, so he's someone that Real Madrid will be looking to bring back to the team.
Before Bill continues, I think that, we all expect Iñaki, or he's raking in the numbers that we want to see, but there are some glorious opportunities. He cannot be fluffing his efforts in front of goal. You raise a lot of questions around you when you are missing these chances. He was served on the plate 2 glorious opportunities by his own brother, Nico.
Yeah.
Inside the penalty area, one was just in front of the goalkeeper's area, and then he missed it. So because £1,
Moving on, Rayo Vallecano drew 2-2 with Mallorca. Getafe also drew 0-0 with Villarreal, and Barcelona defeated Sevilla by a goal to 0, thanks to a goal from Sergio Ramos, an own goal from Sergio Ramos.
He said he was going to score.
Let's get into the Italian Serie A now, and the biggest story of the Italian Serie A is Lautaro Martinez. He comes on in the second half, scores 4 goals, and then Inter beats Salernitana, and away from home, incredible, Kelvin.
Fantastic performance, and I think that I don't know whether the World Cup was something good to turn things around from Lautaro. He's become a different being altogether. He's taking responsibility. Probably the captaincy too may have done him some good. He realizes that the team hinges on his shoulders, and he should perform greatly to a level where, when it gets difficult for the team, everyone comes to him as the savior for it. And I think it really lifted him up that he's not playing like the old Lautaro that, you could see less optimism from him. He wasn't even daring as he used to be. And I think this time around, he knows what he's going for. He knows where to rightfully place himself. And this is a well-knit side from Simeone Inzaghi. I think he's done a great work. So every time they have the ball, it's more like prime Barcelona when they had Samuel Eto'o and Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho picks the ball, he's looking for Eto'o's run. You know, Manchester City looking for Sergio Aguero, Manchester City looking for Erling Braut Haaland, Manchester United looking for Robin van Persie inside the penalty area. It's the same thing with Internacional, and I think that he's just making sure that he pays or dignifies the efforts from his team. I love the new Lautaro Martinez, and hopefully he continues on that tangent.
Oreku, the players you sold to AC Milan. The players you sold to AC Milan are doing better than the players you brought in.
Mudryk.
So AC Milan have just beaten Lazio, and Christian Pulisic is among the goal scorers. I've also seen AC Milan fans give Ruben Loftus-Cheek a lot of flowers this season.
Yeah.
Oreku, what's happening? What's happening at Milan? What are they doing right that probably Chelsea didn't do?
2 words. It's Serie A. Look, just give me 6 months to train. I'll get a couple of goals in Serie A. But on a more serious note, I mean, there's that aspect where I think the level at the Serie A is probably not matching levels of other European leagues at the moment. And for players like Pulisic, Loftus-Cheek, who are low on confidence, low on form, weren't getting enough game time, it's perhaps a good environment for them to thrive. I think it's a much slower league, less intensity, and so sometimes that helps these players as well, and that has played into their good start with Milan so far. But then again, the quality of these two players has never been in doubt. At Chelsea, I just thought we're not seeing it on a consistent basis, and also it was more of a system that hasn't really settled, and so it was not the best environment for these players. And I think being at Milan is renewed energy, a fresh league, and a new opportunity for them to once again show what they're made of. And they look motivated. It's a good start. Hopefully, they are able to continue. But you also have to bear in mind that this is a Serie A that made Tammy Abraham look like a world beater, made Lukaku look like he's the best striker in the world. I can go on and on and on. Serie A.
But let me get into some more in the Italian Serie A. Napoli also beat Lecce by 4-0. And
Osimhen scored.
The talk of Napoli. I was going to come to Osimhen. Today he put out a statement. And Bill, if you can find a statement for us and then read that statement for us and what he's clearly talking about. Osimhen is an integral part of that Napoli side. You have the statement. Bill, read that statement for us.
So Osimhen said, coming to the city of Naples in 2020 was a wonderful decision for me. The people of Naples have shown me so much love and kindness, and I will not allow anyone to come between us. The passion of the people of Naples fuels my fire to always play with my heart and soul, and the love for the badge is unwavering as I wear it with pride. The accusation against the people of Naples are untrue. I have a lot of friends that are Napolitans and have become part of my family and everyday life. I appreciate Nigerians and everyone for lending their voices to support and reach out to me. Thanks so much. I'm forever grateful. Let's continue to spread unity, respect, and understanding. Forza Napoli sempre. That's what he said.
Sempre.
Bill, they talk Italiano. Anyway, so I saw our very good friend Efsin's tweet. So Efsin said, thank you, Osimhen, for not allowing the people to treat you like money.
Don't let them send you to Saudi.
So, Victor Osimhen has just brought a statement out, and that all but seals it now. That he will stay at Napoli and he'll play his football, and so.
And I think it's just a man who is tired of the drama and wants to get ahead of things. Look, there's no closure. I don't think there's closure from the situation, and with less than 2 years remaining on his contract, I don't think he would stay at Napoli beyond next season. But the thing with ADL is that ADL won't let him leave for free. And so that's the next bit of battle for the Nigerian striker. But I don't think he's happy.
Yeah.
I think this opportunity, if it happened, or this mishap, if it happened to a happy player, it wouldn't have been blown out of proportion like it had. For Osimhen, I think it was a chance for the world to really see how he feels at the club. The truth may not come out, but I just don't think he's too happy in Napoli, Italy at the moment. But knowing the caliber that he has, and the type of striker that he is, he will continue to play and to score. Maybe I think his disappointment is with not being able to move last summer, where there were a lot of clubs looking for strikers, and ADO slapped 150 million on his head, essentially ruling him out of any move. And so maybe that's the disappointment that he's carrying. But that value will only drop next summer.
Right, and so that's it. Victor Osimhen, Napoli, and all the drama and everything. He says he's staying, and so just allow Victor Osimhen to do his business and stay at his club. I mean, the video where he didn't shake his
yeah.
I love the way the guy's hand was hanging after he didn't shake it. Yeah, it was really nice. let's take the predictions. Bill, are the predictions ready? Yeah. So let's take the predictions, and then let's take predictor before we take our final comments, and then we leave the studio. So. Predictor, and these are the predictions for this week. And so Oreku says Real Madrid will beat Napoli by 2-1 in Naples, and Man United will beat Galatasaray at home at Old Trafford by 2-2. United will keep clean sheet. United will keep a clean sheet. Wow.
Oh, nah.
Wow. Like and then PSG, Newcastle. Oreku says 3-1 PSG, 2-1 Man City in that Man City Leipzig game, and then Arsenal will beat Man City by 2-1.
Bukayo Saka me feel it.
Thank you. Let's move on to the next one. And Adela says Real Madrid will beat Napoli by 2-1. She says Galatasaray will beat Man United at Old Trafford by 2-1. And then PSG will also beat Newcastle by 2-1. And also Man City will beat Leipzig by 2-1. And Arsenal will beat Man City by 3-2.
She said Galatasaray will beat Man United.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I like Aniela. You know, the thing is that you need to wake up early to hate on your opponents. Let's get into it. So Thierry also says Real Madrid will beat Napoli by 2-1, and then United Galatasaray will end 1-1. PSG will beat Newcastle United at the St. James's Park by 3-1. Man City Leipzig will end 3-1, and Arsenal Man City will end 2-2. I actually think it will end 2-2, but I don't know if I chose 2-2 for the Arsenal Man City game. Bill Eshen has gone with Napoli win over Real Madrid. Napoli 2, Real Madrid 1. United Galatasaray 1-1. Newcastle United PSG 1-1. Bill, are you sure about that? And then Man City will beat Leipzig by 3-2, and then Arsenal 2, Man City 1. Kelvin says Real Madrid will beat Napoli by 3-2, and then Man United will beat Galatasaray by 2-1. 3-1 PSG over Newcastle United, and then Man City would also beat Leipzig by 2-1. Arsenal City would end 2-2. And mine also says Napoli, Real Madrid 2-2, Man United, Galatasaray 2-1 in favor of United, and then PSG will beat Newcastle by 3-2. Leipzig and Man City should end 2-2 for me, and then Man City will beat Arsenal by 3-2. So those are the predictions for this week. And so this week's results there for you. I mean, if you've taken anything from it, you can just try some bet odds and stuff. But I promised you, I told you that Oreku says within the week he's bringing you some sweet odds for the Champions League. Oreku, the last time you got everything right.
Yeah, but you see, you don't do it often. If a miracle pastor and every week I do miracle, there will be eyebrows raised. It's once in a while, then Charlie, the spirits will drop something.
Exactly. And so that's Oreku's bit as well. And so we'll be getting into Oreku's predictions a bit later. But this is still the Sports Ultras right here on 3FM 92.7. And Oreku, just give me your final words before we close out the show today.
I think the main highlight for me was the pendulum shifts that we're having on the Ghanaian football scene, with Medeama and Dreams doing what we expected of the big clubs, especially at their first attempt. I think for some time now, there's been that perception that Ghana football is just struggling in all aspects. And There's some bright light, at least within a difficult period for the sport here in the country. And I think once these two clubs have the platform and the opportunity and show something good and come out with something appreciable, it would also motivate other clubs to break free and, to stop thinking that Ghana football is hard, you can actually go beyond that and even permeate the continent by heading into these competitions if you do believe.
Right.
I think it's high time that we stop having that perception that Bichim don't have enough money to play in Africa, so they'll deliberately lose the league. No, look at Medeama, they're about to get at least $700,000.
Yes.
So I hope news like this would enter the heads of the
Great money.
Yeah, this is where every club should be aiming and aspiring to be. So it's time that our clubs start thinking beyond the local scene, that they have to be at these levels, because that's where the money is made, unfortunately. And so that's the standout for me, that these two clubs have started something, hopefully that would last, and we would see more competitiveness from different clubs as well.
You have seconds left.
Yeah.
Thank you. Finish up with 10 seconds.
Yeah, I'm just happy for Medeama and Dreams, and hopefully they can make Ghana proud. Simple as that.
Okay, Kelvin.
I am happy. Yes, I'm happy. Shallow of the week, Eric Ten Hag.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, that's
Eric
that's
Ten Hag.
it.
Shallow.
Yeah, that's
Wasano do.
That's it.
Now coach Benkwe.
Wasan. Kale, no, you see the thing. The United problem. You don't seem to get it. Like City have a Santo coach. We brought Santo coach. He's not doing well. City have Haaland. We brought Hoyland. Like I don't get it. I don't know what's happening. But I mean, we'll see how that goes. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you to our listeners as well. You guys have been amazing. To the guys who called us, thank you so much for staying with us on Sports Ultras every week, and that's every Sunday. And so this is how we draw the curtains on the show. Thank you so much for listening. Next week we are back with another exciting edition of Sports Ultras.